Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz. And you may be wondering exactly what I'm doing staring at my T-34 Independence, because I've already done a review on this tank and I'm not particularly great at driving it. So what am I looking at it for? Well, you see, the Blitz Fair is on, because it's Christmas, and so you can earn special currencies to get this thing, which is a Tier 6 Swedish autoloader, plus some tickets, plus some days of premium. Or you can just go straight for the tickets, which will allow you to take part in the Blitz Fair. And in order to do that, you have to get some of these things. I'm not too sure exactly what they are. Oh, you have to complete missions and collect XP, basically. So it's the same as the Night Hunt mission, except what the Blitz Fair is you can actually win tanks. For example, the IS-3 Defender, the KV-5, Type 59, Type 62, T-34 Independence, the T-23-3, the FCM-50T, the E-25, or indeed the T-34-85 Rudy. Plus, you can buy cases which will allow you to get certain other rare tanks such as the 38H, the 5/4, the Hydro, the Panzer B2, the Panzer IIJ, BTSV. But as I scroll through here, you will notice two particularly rare tanks, because it's Christmas, and so after a lot of deliberation I decided that I would hurt my wallet and I would go for gold. I'm sorry, it's the dishonest thing to do, and believe me, it does not feel good to have done it. But I have now got this thing in my garage, which is... well, the tank was created by the same guy that was behind the creation of Tankenstein. Because, as you can see, here is Tankenstein, here's the IS-3 Defender. They were both done by the same guy in the sort of history that World of Tanks Blitz has made for these two tanks. Because, as we all know, Tankenstein is a mashup between a Russian tank, a German tank, and, depending on what gun you use, an American tank. The IS-3 Defender is the same sort of thing. It's an auto-loading IS-3, but with a special Tesla electric engine and various other things with the word Defender written on here, but in Russian obviously. And then I also went for the Type 62, because whilst I wouldn't normally go for the Type 62, when I originally saw this thing released with this special dragon camo, I thought, oh my god, that looks amazing. So what they've done is they've released the special tanks, and they've also got these special winter camos, but they also have the special camos such as the Nomad. Such as the Nomad camo for the T-23-3, the Berlin camo for the Cromwell B, and the Dragon camo for the Type 62. So, Type 62 got the special camo, got it on there. Could go for Water Dragon, but nah, Legendary Dragon. So yeah, Type 62 Dragon and the IS-3 Defender. And I will be taking a look at first the IS-3 Defender, because it's the tank that I'm most eager to play. Because unlike the IS-3 Auto, which is a supposedly auto-loading IS-3 with a magazine, but it isn't, as we all know, the IS-3 Auto is just a more rapid-fire IS-3. It's still good, it's just not what people were thinking. This thing actually does what it says. This thing is actually an auto-loading IS-3. So, it's an IS-3 in all sense of the word. The turret, the hull, the armour, all of that is the IS-3. Except for the gun. The gun's got a dual magazine ring system inside of it, and it actually has a magazine. It's a magazine-fed IS-3. And yes, that's a 122mm auto-loading gun. Is that crazy? Yes, it is. As you can see, the little 3 bullets here indicates that it is an autoloader. So having a look at it, 64% protection, 50% firepower, 68% shot effectiveness, 33% maneuverability. So 1550 HP is a fair amount for a tier 8 heavy. Have a look at the T-34 Independence, 1400. Yeah. So do I have any other... no, I do not. I do not have any other tier 8 heavies. Okay. Let's have a look then. You got the IS-6, which has got 1,470. You have got the IS-3, which has got, with the upgraded turret, it has got 1,500 HP. Okay, let's have a look at the KV Fortress. The KV Fortress here in Blitz gets 1,550 HP. So it's in the higher end of just a small sample there, to be honest, yes. But it has got a fair amount of HP for a tier 8 heavy tank. So there's that. Plus, you've got the armor. So the turret 249 at the fronts, 172 the sides, 100 rear, 110 front, 90 sides, 60 rear. So 110 base front, plus it's got the IS-3 piked nose. And the turret is 249 millimeters base thickness, plus it's all about the roundedness on the IS-3, which is what people like about the IS-3, because it's got this pike nose, which makes this a very strong frontally angled tank, plus it's also got the very rounded turret. So 172, I think, side armor, still rounded and sloped, that's still a good turret. Obviously 90, 60, not particularly great. Things will go through the rear and the sides of this tank, but angling this tank can be effective. It's got the side sloping. Bounce, bounce, bounce can occur. It's not suggested to counter-angle the piked nose, however, sometimes that is effective in order to increase the lower glacis angle. So, the armour itself, pretty strong. It is a strong armoured tank. It is, in all sense of the word, an IS-3. So, weighs almost 50 tons, 149.30 tons, with a 620 horsepower engine, with a 40 km per hour speed limit, a 27.56 reverse speed, and a 21 degrees per second turret reverse. So, yeah, there's the turret. Yeah, all you need to know, 245 meters view range, not great, but it is a Russian heavy tank, so yeah. But so it's the turret object defender, yeah, what do you expect? The engine object defender is a 620 horsepower engine with a 15% chance of fire and impact, which pushes this thing along at apparently a fairly decent top speed. I haven't actually played this, so I don't know. But it does have a 53.56 ton load limit, and I have loaded it up with all but one equipment slot, so I don't know. But yeah, so there's that. Now for the gun, which is everything the IS-3 Defender needs to be, which is a 122 D25TA gun. So, just like the IS-3 Auto in World of Tanks Blitz, this is an odd mashup between the BL9 and the D25T gun that the standard IS-3 gets. However, with one major difference separating the IS-3 Auto and the IS-3 Defender, which is this: 3 shells in the magazine. It takes 23 seconds to completely load that magazine, and the shell load speed in between each shot is 7.50 seconds, with 3 shots in the magazine, which has got 221 average penetration with APCR, 270 with heat, and 61 with high explosive, plus it does 400 alpha damage, or 500 with high explosive if you penetrate. So you've got 221 pen, which is pretty good for tier 8, it's a very good penetration for tier 8, doing 1200 damage every 23 seconds. Near enough. I mean, 7, 14, 21, 22.5 seconds with 23 seconds to reload. But, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it does have 0.4 dispersion, which is pretty terrible, plus a 6.7 second aim time, which is abysmal. But it's an auto-loading 122 gun, which is actually auto-loading 3 shells in the magazine. I mean, and this is most definitely a very, very rare tank to see, or get, which is exactly why I forked out all of that money and killed myself in the process. Because when this thing was originally released, there was about 6,000 across all servers. I think it was something like that, around 6,000 for for every server of World of Tanks Blitz that there was at that time. So if you're one of the lucky 6,000 people to get it first try, well done. Now there's 10,000 of them which you could win. Each of these vehicles that they were selling off, or well, that they are at the time of recording this, that they are selling off, in this World of Tanks Blitz Fair special event, there's only 10,000 of them. So I picked up this thing in the Dragon pretty early on. I mean, they're the most expensive, obviously, but you have the better chance of actually getting one. So, yeah, I did manage to get my hands on one of these, and I am very, very excited to try it out. But first, we must finish up the review. So, it does carry 28 shells of 122 APCR ammunition as standard. Alternatively, you could mount heat or some high explosive. I mean, you could load high explosive for the lols. I mean, just tapping off 3 shots of high explosive into someone is probably going to be pretty annoying to them. Especially if you penetrate and do 1,500 damage. I mean, that's funny. But yeah, so it has got the standard ammo count, which means that you probably can burn through your ammo pretty quick if you're not careful. But as for the equipment, obviously, this is a proper auto-loading tank, unlike the IS-3 Auto, which means no gun rammer. So to make up for it, I've gone with improved vents. Plus, it's a 122 gun, so enhanced gun lane driver is a must-have, and as for the last thing, I'm not too sure, but IS-3s can mount vertical stabilizers, so plus 20% of accuracy during movement and turret traverse. So I mean, there's always that. So you can fit one of them if you want, or there's a cyclone filter for engine durability, tanks filled with CO2 for plus 50% fuel tank durability, or the wet ammo rack for 50% ammo durability, in case either of them kept getting damaged. You've got the enhanced suspension, which gives obviously more suspension durability, which can be quite helpful. And you've got camo net and binos, which I would probably advise against because 122s have not been known for their accuracy, even when mounted on tank destroyers, so you're not exactly a sniper. Plus you're a heavy tank, so you should be in the action, not sitting back sniping, so I mean, yeah, don't bother with them. If you really want to improve your view range, go with the coated optics, which wouldn't be a bad idea, but yeah, so coated optics if you want one. Spore liner, yeah, probably not at high tiers. There's not many howitzers around which will fire high explosive at you, so I would say no. Then toolbox is always useful. As for provisions, you've got standard fuel and improved fuel for plus 3 or 10% respectively to engine power and turret traverse speed. Activated automatically, permanent throughout the battle. Then you've got condensed milk, or you've got extra combat rations for plus 3 or 10% respectively to crew mastery. Once again, automatically activated, permanent throughout the battle, restricted to Russian vehicles. And then you've got protective kit for plus 15% protection of crew from injuries, 10% speed and module repairs, 20% fire protection, 10% ammo rack, and fuel tank durability. And once again, auto-activated, permanent throughout the battle. So I mean, go ahead and stick some of them off if you want, depending on how many credits you have. I do have 1 million to spare. Just casually 1 million credits to spare. But I obviously haven't gone with them because I don't really want to. And then we've got the consumables. So you've got the repair kit, first aid kit, fire extinguisher as your standard things, or at least for me. Then you've also got the engine power boost, which gives 20% to engine power for 15 seconds with a 75-second cooldown. And amazingly, well, not really amazingly, considering the fact that it's an autoloader, there is no, what is it? There's no adrenaline rush, which increases your load speed by 20% and your chance of it damaging enemy modules by 10%. But then again, it is an autoloader, so not surprising. Which means that you can go ahead and bung a couple of these on, which means that these will do, all of these things do combined into one for a slightly higher cost. I'm still going to go with all 3 of these, which means that I don't have to rant about why I prefer to use all 3 of them rather than one of these and one of the other things and one of these. But yeah, so there's your basic things. As for the crew, it's a heavy tank crew, Blitz. Blitzcrews are done differently. You train one. You have one crew for each vehicle. They master the vehicle individually, and then once they have mastered it, they start training crew skills depending on what type of vehicle. So it all depends on what you're training your heavy tanks for right now. There is no good or bad thing that you can train, especially for a single tank, which differs it up from World of Tanks PC, which is nice. But anyway, so yes, the auto-loading IS-3, the bane of Tier 8 battles. Very eager to play this thing, because the gun is once again a mashup of the BL9 and the D25T, and the fact that it has got the BL9's penetration but the D25T's accuracy, or inaccuracy I should say, plus the name. But I mean, yeah, this is going to hopefully be a very fun tank, because otherwise I have made a very big mistake, but I doubt it, because I collect rare tanks, as you can tell by all of the tanks which I have primaried, which I did a couple of reviews back where I just basically went along and primaried all of my rare tanks. Oh yeah, by the way, this thing, gift. This is the gift tank for this year, which is cool. I mean, see how that compares to the one in PC, but anyway. So, yeah, I primaried all of my special tanks, and these are all of my special tanks, and now these two have taken their proud place in my garage. So yes, the IS-3 Defender. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.